Yo, what up, people? Switch to motherfucking on here today, of course, to give you guys Nagi no Asukara episode 2 motherfucking review. And no, this episode unfortunately will not be a summary because I find much more interesting. And yo, it's crazy as shit. Like all these like they basically took the story and then they just expanded it, added so much shit on the second episode that it just becomes so interesting. And I honestly cannot pick fucking sides because it's just fucking like yo, like it's just tripping me out. It really is. Like all this, all these fucking like relationship lines and shit. In the overall goal or the overall message of this was that the information that we got, which was that if you are a fish person, if you're underwater and you be fucking with them humans, you get banished from the village. And it ties into multiple storylines. The first of which will be, of course, what was it? I believe it was like Akiri. Yeah, I believe it was Akiri. Akiri is the first one we're gonna talk about. But yeah, that was the basic overall premise for the very first, before Akiri, in her whole situation. We're gonna talk about this dream that this motherfucker, Hikari, had. Like it was like a dream sequence, and it was like we got to talk about this, okay? We have to. Not only because like he's basically like saying how she's breaking out of the ropes and like she's the more that they're trying, like she's not just staying, with them anymore. There's a chance that she's gonna be the one in this group of friends that's gonna go out and get banished, and she's gonna leave the nest, so to speak. And the whole thing was like legit, like this dude just dreaming about this bitch swimming through the ocean naked, and I was like legit, like let's just take it as it is, okay? The dude likes her, okay? There we go. It's done with, okay? Now let's start with Hikari. And basically, Hikari is this woman who I believe is like a part of their. They know her basically. She's a resident of their underwater village, so to speak. And basically, she is having a relationship with a human that's on. He's a landwalker, and that's forbidden. And when they first see it, they're like, why is she being all sneaky about it and shit like that? And then they're like, oh, wait a minute. And then it just like becomes like first knowledge that it's like, oh, so you get banished for doing that shit? I thought that all those people just left. No, they were being banished. And then of course, Hikari gets on Manaka's case about her in this, human. So you want to get banished from the village and all that. And then she goes off crying, and then of course Chi goes after her, and then he goes off on Chi, like, what do you know about me and all that. And then she just jumps off, and then of course this boy, Naomi, I believe is his name or some shit like that, basically it's just like, bro, chill the fuck out, and just goes back in the sea. And we can understand his frustrations, but yet it just launches like all this paradigm into this shit. And so basically she gets captured, and it leads to a second occurrence when she's actually found of it, and basically they're taking her to the god of the water, god of the sea, and also looking for the chief priest, which is of course Hikari's dad. And she's there, and he's there, and he's basically, she's in trouble. I mean, it's a big thing, and Hikari's even thinking about it more and more, like, oh my god, this girl that I'm really into, I love her. He hasn't said it yet, but still, we can, he has those feelings for her. And she might be banished from the village. And it's like this whole thing of he's had moments to act, but he isn't. And it's like, and he even says it himself that this motherfucker, Kihara, isn't a bad guy. They call him his last name for a while, but I'm calling him Kihara because it's the easiest one. He isn't a bad guy. He just, of course, they're both into the same girl, and I can't really hate on him because I mean, yo, it was like, and so let's get into this whole like giant ass like love pyramid triangle. Okay, okay. So this giant ass love pyramid triangle, I do not know where the fuck Naomi is. I'm assuming that he likes this girl Chi, but I am not 100% sure. So I'm going to leave this dude out to the side for now because unfortunately he hasn't really had anybody to talk to about it. He's just like that friend that's observing, like the girl possibly that he likes going after these two guys that are obviously like each other, but she's like this dude and he's just, he doesn't have anybody to like really express himself with, and he doesn't really get that much cameo. He doesn't get that much screen time, and so I can't put him on the list, not just yet. But basically, as we got in, Chi likes Hikari and knows that Manaka likes Hikari. And then Hikari doesn't know that Manaka likes him. I believe it's not really like stated that wise, but he definitely doesn't know that she likes him. And he like considers her like she's always being like a parent or an adult. And so basically, Hikari, he's in like the mystery area because I'm not sure exactly if he realizes that Manaka likes him or not. But we know for a fact that Manaka knows basically that they're going through like this feelings thing. But at the same exact time, she's making googly eyes with this motherfucker Kihara. And Kihara, I mean, like, yo, like legit, like just like that, like that's like really, like, it's a situation where I'm just like, yo, it's a fucked up situation because I'm just so confused by it. Because at first I was like, yo, man, I'm gonna stick with the old, like, they're childhood friends and all that, but then I just keep thinking about it, and like the more and more, it's like, yo, man, it's it's just a weird situation. I cannot choose sides in this. I just gotta watch what the fuck happens. I can't. I mean, there's a whole friendship, and like they know each other since they were children, and they grew up in the same area. And then there's like this whole thing about he's so interested in her, and he calls her beautiful, and we're gonna get into this thing with basically starting off with I'm not sure if Manaka realizes that she actually really likes Kihara like that. I'm not sure, or if she's just like doing this like she doesn't think it's a big deal, but actually is. I don't know. But either way, it's making motherfucking Hikari mad. It's making him pissed off. It really is. And it just leads all these like giant spirals of emotion like that are just going through everybody at the end of this episode that I have to see the next one. I just have to. I have to know what the fuck's going on. And what the fuck's gonna proceed after this. But basically, let's just describe the basic situation going on between, of course, Manaka and Kihara. Yeah, Kihara. And basically the situation is that Kihara he took care of her, and he also commented on how, her knee was beautiful, the fish was beautiful, and she was beautiful. And, he's really into their culture and asking her questions, and she's like responding, and she's like thankful to him. But at the same time, like in the very beginning of this episode, she legitly loses that thing that he said was beautiful, and so now she's going out of her way to try and get cursed again, which is a very bad thing for him. And when Hikari finds that out, like, yo, like all types of like he's already seeing it, but he doesn't really like get the whole gist of it because she hasn't really talked to him that much about it. But he's seeing like this thing that they're going across, and he noticed how it was visible, and he was like he was around it, and she wasn't embarrassed, and so he's like he's in competition mode basically, but he's just he's at that point basically where his love of her is getting challenged by another, in my opinion. And he's just going through all these, like, it's like, you know, it's it's like that, you know. That's the easiest way I can describe it. Like, it's like, you know, I like you, yet you're still fucking around with this nigga over here. Like, Hikari needs to make a fucking move. He does, but unfortunately, he probably won't. And then, of course, we have like some of the big picture shit coming in here, and that is with Chi and Hikari, because she is really into this motherfucker. And then she's starting to remember shit that, of course, Naomi, or whatever the fuck his name is, basically started talking about with her in the first episode. About how if Manaka isn't there anymore, she'll basically be there to replace her. And now she's having this eternal struggle of whether or not she should, you know, like, because Manaka's obviously, you know, she's going through a rough patch, and I mean, this dude's asking her questions about her, and she's like in this rough decision where it's like, does she really want to do that to Manaka for her own personal feelings? Does she really want to push a friend aside? Yet at the same time, her friend would also be happy, and Hikari would be disappointed, and then she'd come in, and would she really be okay and comfortable with doing that to him? And basically like fucking up his mind and then taking control. And she's like having this eternal power struggle now between like, should she try to stop this, or should she let it keep going so that she can get Hikari for herself? And you know what, fuck it, I said I was gonna leave him out, but we gotta bring Naomi in this shit. And I know his name is Naomi. It's something like that shit. It's like Naomi or some. I don't give a fuck. Anyway, basically, after she gets yelled at, and he goes in after her, and he's like floating above her when she's crying, and he's comforting her. And I'm wondering if he's into her or not, because it's very questionable. Because it just seems like he's in that friend zone, and we don't have, you know, because he's like that dude that's like just, you know, he's in the friends, he's in the group of friends, but he's outside of the loop in a sense, because he doesn't have anybody he can really talk to about it. And that's where the problem lies with if I can add him to this shit or not. But he is there for her in a sense in her time of need, and he easily could have probably taken advantage of that, but he didn't. And so he isn't a douchebag, we know that. But whether or not he likes her or he's just a good friend, we will have to see to find out. And then we got, of course, the main one, which is Hikari and Manaka. And with Hikari and Manaka, it's just like going through, it's like relationship phases when true friends who've known each other for a long time start to get feelings for one another. And they like know about it, but then they try to pretend that they don't, because they don't want things to really change. That's how I'm seeing it. I'm not really sure, because you see, although they are a group of, you know, tight-knit friends, we don't exactly have that much of a backstory on them, except for the fact that they went to like the same middle school together. They could have become friends there, or it could have been before that. But we don't exactly know how far the relationship goes back, and you know, or if they just like met each other like a couple years ago now, you know. We don't exactly know what their past history is, because that hasn't really went into that. And of course, she realizes that he's getting, you know, upset about this, but yet at the same time, she continues to do it, and I don't know. It's just a weird situation between them. I mean, in one hand you have Manaka, and you know, she's just trying to be polite to the guy. I mean, he helped her out. But at the same time, on the other hand, you have Hikari, and he's looking at this girl that he likes, you know, being nice and making googly eyes at this dude and doing stuff that she would normally do only for him. Like, she's using his name, and that really gets him mad. She even used his last name. That even made him worse. And he has to go through this, and that would not be a very likable situation for any dude who likes a girl to be in. No, that just wouldn't. And so it's just a very like weird relationship that they have, where like they realize, well, at least Manaka realizes that he has somewhat feelings for her, and it's confirmed when she's talking with Chi that she realizes that. But we don't know shit about Hikari. We don't know shit. All we know about Hikari is that Chi knows that he also likes Manaka, but Chi didn't tell him shit about Manaka like you, bro. No, she's holding on to the information. For what reason? I don't know, but still, that information so far, for our knowledge, has not been known. And so Hikari basically just likes this girl, and he doesn't think nothing of it. He doesn't think. Like, he realizes that they're good friends. Like, she showed him this. He showed her he showed her fucking, or she showed him, her fish head on her fucking knee. And so, he thought that it was like a special friend level of friendship, and he could have moved on from that shit. Yeah, that's the best way to say it. He could have moved on from that shit, and then proceeded into, stop being a friend and started moving on from that. But then when he sees this other dude who's starting to, become at the same level as him, he's starting to get worried, because then what if this dude, she likes him more than me? And so he's going through all this confusing shit and teenage hormones. And, I mean, he did literally dream about her naked, so. And with the ending, how it is with Hikari, and this whole thing about the priest is gonna talk with her, and they're like, no, I don't want some disrespectful shit to fall into my family. Make sure that this relationship ends. We don't want that shit here. And that was her father, I believe, saying that. So that was impactful. And so now Hikari's starting to realize that maybe Manaka is gonna end up like, her, and she's gonna leave him and go be with this fucking human. And he doesn't want that to happen. And that's basically all the fucking conflict and shit going on I feel like talking about. And so, with that being said, Smith to motherfucking R. I gotta give this episode right here. You know what? 9.3 out of 10. I'll give it an amazing. I will. It's making all these situations just appear, and they're coming in so smoothly, and it's somewhat making sense, and it's proceeding to a point of possible. The shit could get bigger. It could, but I see it staying as like this, and maybe adding a couple more characters in here or there. But stuff is about to get real. And the problem is, and the main problem why this is going to continue to be like this, of course, is because Hikari doesn't have that courage, I believe, yet to tell her how it feels. So yeah, that's going to be a big one. So with that being said, Smith to motherfucking R. This was an amazing fucking episode, and I cannot wait for episode 3. So with that being said, peace out.